moving into, there's the magic. There we go.
I hear you now.
I was talking to myself and Raz, but it was a great start for WE moving into playoffs. They need this series win now more than ever because there is no ever. This is the end of the season. This is Raz, I am Hysterics, and once again, WE are continuing their winning streak.
Yeah, they're doing well.
We're doing great. That was a magnificent game.
Agreed. Like, if we're just talking about who it starts off with, for me, it was all about xiye.
Yeah.
xiye and his Corki.
Our MVP, by the way.
Let's go for it. Let's get it up there because he went in big. Not only was it him, and it was him and Mystic.
Wow.
KDA's literally infinite. They
Yep.
just didn't die.
It's exciting when you get a Corki in your game that's active from minute 1. You know, this was the type of Corki that you could rally behind. 10 kills is insanity.
Yeah, and a lot of the problems came up for Victory 5 that they had kill threat technically with the Akali. But with a lot of the plays that came through, she didn't have ultimate available, or this happened, and was just immediately assassinated by the Sejuani and Corki combo. And then this was Victory 5 trying to claw their way back into the game. Just through getting Rip Trail, they ended up picking it up. They ended up losing a lot of kills, so it turned into a pretty large investment. Boom. He wants to be the reason why he dies. Doesn't want anyone else to be the reason. But then the Rip Trail goes to waste because of how smart Team W played this game. This was a great team fight come through, of course, in an excellent position where, you know, Sejuani and Braum can keep them back. The Cataclysm has an adverse effect. It's definitely not helping. And then you get to a stage where Mystic has games like these as well.
Yeah.
Hands up.
Absolute fest. That was great. I mean, the rest of the fight, xiye, Mystic side by side. And beishang had some beautiful engages this game as well.
This is pure confidence and great communication with their top laner. He's able to enter the fight as soon as possible because they knew that Victory 5 were just in the wrong position.
Yep.
Sejuani's going to be able to lock you down. Members are going to be able to follow up. Immediately, Corki's going to be able to get a quadra kill. And the reason why we don't go too far with this replay is because he got that denied from him. Not going to be able to get a pentakill off that one. So, would have been nice if he got MVP and a pentakill.
Yeah.
Give it to him.
And tied in nicely. And that way, we'd send him to the Penta as well, and he'd deserve it.
You can still probably get that.
Okay. Right.
I mean, no, that was actually just not a very entertaining play. It's not as if that was an outplay, but still get that pen.
Would have been the second Penta this week as well, from memory. Don't know who, but I know there's been a Penta. So we'll move on because for WE, remember we talk about playoffs a lot here in this series, and this is a playoff-ready team. That was a playoff caliber match that WE showed on a failing V5.
Yeah, and let's just talk about the 4 teams a little bit because, you know, Invictus Gaming, Team WE, LNG, and JDG, my expectation is Invictus Gaming and Team WE should be in the playoffs, not only just because of current form, but also, I mean, they're in a position where Invictus Gaming should beat Rogue Warriors. They're slated to, and if that happens, they're just in.
Yep.
Or at least, like, you would expect that to be the case.
Right.
And then Team WE are a team that, like, have had the easiest run of schedule. There is no way that currently not only are they the strongest, but having the easiest schedule, that they should be kicked out.
Yep.
So I would be shocked. And it really then also comes to LNG. They're set tomorrow, going up against Suning, and they're currently just having the worst. They do not look good.
No, they do not.
Whatsoever. So this is one of those moments that LNG has that last chance to being able to make that claim and make that run.
And it's up to them as well. So really WE even winning this, it is not up to them at the end of the day, but it is a great way to start things off. As a side note as well, JDG will be watching this series going, please, V5, please, keep our runoff dream alive, because JDG will be able to hit 7 wins, but then they rely on so many different factors.
You know what's the worst feeling? Waking up in the morning and not knowing until really it gets to your set, if you're even in playoffs or not. You're just like, am I playing for something? Am I depressed? Am I not? Really, that's the question at hand here. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, right now they're watching these 2 series very closely.
And after that, you look at that game 1 and you go, well, we're in some trouble.
A little bit.
Because V5, you know, that was a loss through the mid lane. It was a loss through, in the end, the whole of the map.
Yeah.
Let's have a quick talk about on it while we are talking about mid lane.
Let's do it.
Because he finally got a chance to prove himself, and he got destroyed in that laning phase.
Yeah, and there was a few things that I saw, at least for Otto in the game, right? In the game, if we're just talking about holistically, I think he played the map well. In that mid game where, you know, the Victory 5 found a pick on bot side, he was the lone one up top side and played really respectfully, didn't get picked off, waited and tried to wave clear through Shroud cooldown. He played well across the map, very cool, calm, and collected. But then you're right about the laning phase. The laning phase was really tough because that laning phase requires that window of being able to work alongside J4 in your all-ins. But then he uses ultimate really early on, trying to get the Ezreal, didn't have it when he needed. And then there were multiple times where J4 and him just were not on the same page.
A lot of desynchronization, it looked like.
And so at the end of the day, you just have Corki, especially with Hex Drinker, shoving you in, getting Klepto procs. That was the easiest lane for Corki simply because of that nature.
Yeah.
So it's one of those games where once again you come into it and say that I personally wouldn't blame Otto for this game, but I certainly think that it's 100% working alongside your jungler and having that information. He's coming into the split really late too.
Yeah.
So we're just having that conversation. What's the best chance for Victory 5? It's Windy and Mole because of that, the fact that they both are consistent performers.
Yeah.
And they've worked with Benforth at the very beginning.
Super hard. At least this time the Akali was one position to put Otto in that wasn't the Lulu. To say it blatantly outright, it wasn't the Lulu.
It wasn't the Lulu.
So no one can blame the draft going forward, but Game 2 will be a question. I paused on that because I thought, well, people are going to start blaming the Swain? Are they going to start looking more into the tight window that V5 had to squeeze through in that Game 1?
Look, they built themselves this comp for a reason. You can't just, as a forethought, just go through and pick. It's like the pick and ban.
Every draft is a bad draft.
Yeah. They can definitely get better on that one. A lot of it is about execution, but you already heard my displeasure about Swain as a champion after the changes. There are some good things about him, but I also just think that he just lost a lot of DPS, and the HP values that he gets off his Soul Fragment stacks just ain't enough for him. So he becomes a weird champion.
And Y4 was never really a threat in that first game. There was no point where I looked at Y4 and went, oh, actually, you can take it all.
Because he's now a supportive element to really make it so that pullback that he would get from the Nautilus, any Nautilus actual CC, so the auto attack, the hook, the ultimate, or literally just across the board from the J4 that you would have that in nature. Technically, the short stun that a colleague has, so he has a lot to work with, but it's always in combination with somebody else. So I like that element. Oh, then you know what it provides for the team. So we'll have to see. Also in the laning phase, he also got Ezreal pretty chunked down.
Yeah. Super
close to being able to net a kill, but didn't have the ability to just nail it.
Had some really nice trades here from V5's bottom lane on that note. It was the Swain, also the Nautilus from Max, where Max also forced out beishang. And over on WE, that bottom lane looked a bit sketchy, but pulled back by the strength of the mid lane that we talked about. And remember, there have been no subs from V5 coming into this one.
Yeah.
So we're running the same roster going into Game 2. Otto gets another chance.
All right, let's see what he can do. Remember, this team, Victory 5, is already out of playoffs.
Yep.
So being able to get as much game time there for the man is something that I like. It's advisable. At this stage, you already heard what I said, which is just if Windy comes out consistently. We'll have to see if that's going to be the change-up. But what we can say for certain is the fact that Team WE, going up against them, are going to feel that high.
I feel like...
Yep.
Yeah, okay,
right.
Otto's not there. So, unfortunately, I have been lied to.
No, you have lied to us.
I have lied to you
Take
guys.
responsibility.
I'm sorry. I've lied to you all.
There we go.
Here we go again with the Windy and Mole show.
And it's the show we wanted. Look, at the end of the day, just so you guys know what my feeling is, and I've already iterated it quite a few times, is that if you want a win, it's Windy and Mole.
Yeah.
If you just want to at least have a better gauge of what next year would look like, I would play Otto a few more times. Because for me, my future of being Windy, that's for certain. But having Mole kind of, or at least Otto, entering the fray is a great bit of conversation that you can have. It's very much your last chance being able to get that game time. Wins do not matter for Victory 5.
It's about the passion behind the game, which is the only cute thing I'll say here today. But I will say that putting someone else in that position, challenging your role, has always been a good thing. So let's see how Windy performs coming into this game too, because he's so diversifiable with Mole that the champion pool can go either way.
I want to see the Yasuo.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what I want to see. If Windy's on the field, and we also saw the Yasuo being hovered, That's a pretty easy play style that's worked out for Victory 5 pretty
Yep.
easy, consistently early on in the split. And it's a good way to end your split in style, end your season in style, honestly. A full year's worth of effort and play, practice, and everything. Just to come to this moment going up against Team WE, you want to have a final send-off for your fans out there, especially the fans of the opposing team.
Yeah. No.
You're staring right now at what's 900 or so fans of Team WE that just wants you to fail. And if you throw out that Yasuo, you shut them up and end your split in style. That's what I'm talking about.
You have 900 people in a crowd not saying a single word. So Windy has that chance, and I would love a WE notebook. That's great. A lot of merch around in the LPL that I'm still yet to acquire, Raz.
You should definitely find yourself in one of our many venues that we have here. I've seen the RNG merch store in their venue in Beijing. I've seen the merch store in the Chengdu venue.
Oh yeah.
They're all great. They're all fantastic. But goddamn, Hanyu is passionate.
He has been.
Hanyu's like, do it.
He has been at it every time we go to pick a ban as well. You notice he's hovering around the chair of whoever's picking next.
Yep.
He's really into it. And V5 should, as you said, it's their statement to try and shut down WE. A team that's looking for playoffs, WE, need one more win. And their road goes on.
This man is passionate. It's what I love to see. It reminds me of the LNG coach. So let's
Yeah.
get, oh my God, he's getting right into it. Hey, don't slap him. He's going to elbow this man soon enough.
Let's go, Raz. Are you ready? We're going into a very passionate game too.
I have legitimately never seen a coach as active as Hanyu right now.
Yeah. I'm sure this is why V5 are just so optimistic in their games and take something away from the coach. And coming into this, I want to see what's taken away.
Oh, very much the same bands
That's
coming
right.
in from game one. And so I wonder if the same priority is going to be levied. I would still say pick the Thomas Kench, but you know what they picked last time around.
Yep, time catch banned away by V5. They're like, hey, we'll do Nautilus this time. Or
Is
rather
it the
same
same?
as again.
That's the question. Is it the same damn composition? Really, you won't know until second phase, because that's where you start having the questions about Swain or just an average AD carry. Now,
Yep.
Y4 is also just a phenomenal Lucian player. So if we're just talking about if he's put in the same situation, I would say Lucian Nautilus is a pretty good combo to have yourself. Oh, are they even going to be given the Akali?
So last time it was there, but they picked up the Sejuani here instead. Let's see what WE take away, because 2 solo laners in the early phase, that is doable.
No, you're not picking that in. You're just trying to goad Windy. Trying to say,
Yeah.
oh, we know exactly what you're going
Dog
to
8 comes over and says, yeah, that's it. That's my boy. Yeah. Okay. Well,
locking in both in.
I know people will be like, oh, wow, Yasuo. Not too surprised here from Windy, but still damn exciting.
Yeah, it's always fun to see a Yasuo regardless of the player, and Windy is a great Yasuo player. That's what really knocked Invictus Gaming off their horse earlier on in this split, was Windy's Yasuo. And now we're going into the second phase. You're dealing with 2 assassins and a Nautilus that can keep you down and knock you up and help out that Yasuo ultimate. So let's see what we get in that second phase of the map. Oh, in fact, an Ezreal locked in really early on by Team WE.
Once again here for WE, it's rinse and repeat. We've even got the Kaiser band to go with it. It looks very similar on that red side.
All right, for Team WE, if you're going to the second phase, suddenly it's easier for Victory 5 to just ban the Corki. Kind of deal with that outright. Braum would be a great one. Funny enough, if you're in Team WE, you're very much just going to be playing Braum no matter who the player is. So while Missing is a great Braum player, then you're like, okay, Zero is also a pretty great, Braum player. Ben is a great Braum player. It all starts, and while I know Braum is just like always in the meta, Team WE will always prioritize those kind of champions that keep their soul carries safe, and he's been that go-to pickup.
And remember that if he doesn't have Braum, he can go towards something like the Alistar in the bottom lane, another tank support. We've seen Volley Bears come out of people like Max, and yet to see it out of Missing. So anything's available, but how will it pair is always the question.
They're willing to see Team WE pick up that Corki once again. Now remember, with how many skill shots are coming through from Team WE's comp, Yasuo would be a pretty fine pick into it. And you would love to see Nautilus come through alongside Ben 4 and his respective champion, to just start bullying the mid lane. This is a different situation xiye is going to be put into if he picks the Corki. He's no longer going to be having that much pressure in the lane.
Okay.
Which is why this would be a nice hover, because that would be an Aurelia going into the mid lane.
Still the flex potential, but you're right. The look of it here with Aatrox being the lockdown instead.
Because Aurelia is a pretty damn good lane in towards the Yasuo. I mean, it's a good skill matchup, but you expect the Aurelia to go in towards press the attack, and it's going to be on whether or not the Yasuo can block the, the E, or at least something. I forget. What's the name of it? Flawless Duet?
The Flawless Duet?
Flawless
yeah.
Duet?
Yeah.
Always forget
There's a
the
lot
name
to
for
block
it.
from Yasuo as well. Sejuani ulti, the Vanguard's Edge from Aurelia can be blocked as well.
That's true. That's when you start having a skill checkup on Windy and how focused he's in this game.
Because that win wall is going to be mighty big. V5. Oh!
He was out of existence right there. Everyone else is
Okay.
fine. He's caught up in a random battle.
So I like this. You don't have the Gragas available, but with the Jarvan, Cataclysm's still there.
Lock it in.
But what do we get from support?
This would be a bad lock-in, but it would be my lock-in. So at this stage of the game, WE, they won't have a Morgana or Braum to their name. I think just going towards an Alistar would be a really good pickup here.
Yep.
Missing is a great Alistar player, and they would be able to get out of the lane regardless of the support pick. And there we go. I mean, a lot of the times, Alistar is usually gated by a really good support pick. Now, going up against the Nautilus, you would be a little bit concerned because Nautilus will do well in that matchup, but not only can Alistar get out of the CC that Nautilus would set him up in, but also, you just don't see a lot of kill threat coming in from the Zion Nautilus in general towards this Ezreal. So, Alistar should be safe in the early laning phase, and we'll be able to have that combo potential alongside Sejuani.
I'm very glad we changed things up coming into Game 2, because for WE, it looked so similar, but then it's not the Corki, instead it is xiye on the Aurelia this time around. Post over to the Aatrox, and the all-in from WE is massive.
Yeah, Team WE, if they get a team fight they want for themselves, Alistar and Sejuani is a very easy one to get one pick nailed down.
Yep.
So I love this from Team WE, especially with how easily they were able to nail the, the laning phase for their last game. This time around, Aurelia should have a pretty decent matchup as long as Sejuani is looming over the lane. 2v2 is fairly easy because of the passive stack that you'll have with the Sejuani passive.
Sure.
I mean, Team WE just has a great early game, mid game. I think they're a great late game element there too.
So how does that shape up here for V5, who are trying to bring back the series, Raz? You see a Yasuo and you want to know how it runs into this Aurelia and how it runs into those fights.
I mean, early lane, there are points where you would say if he win walls, the Flawless Duet, if he can find himself a good knockup alongside J4, then Aurelia will have a problem. Or the Sejuani would be a nice pickup. For me, I think Team WE just has the better composition, unless if Mole just has a monstrous Akali game. That's something I want to be able to track to see how Mole does coming into this one.
Great start in Game 1, wasn't able to pick himself up off the ground, and now going into Game 2, it's up to him. And with Windy coming into the mix, V5 looking to shut down WE in their home arena and stop them making playoffs. The tempo goes up every time I've noticed with V5's chance. You do the first one, you speed up the second one, then the third one comes straight away. You don't even let them chance. So.
Yeah, you catch out the slowest person in the crowd. Oh, you can get the emote bouncing too.
That's sick. Well, I've noticed we have two debonair Ezreals here in the LPL, Raz. One's Uzi, one's Mystic. Common place to see them on this champion with the skin in hand.
I love Explorer Ezreal. If we're just talking about skins, been a big fan of that one. That was mostly because earlier on, I remember that being just the go-to skin for Doublelift, the one that I've been seeing him play a lot in the past.
Okay.
It's pretty damn good. I don't know about the, thinking about it. TPA Ezreal is also damn good because you can just point at them.
That's true. Your pointer stick gives yourself the nice cures. We enter Game 2 into a very different mid lane matchup now. The story's going to be different, of course, because it is Windy going into xiye this time around, but press the attack on the Yasuo going up against the Conqueror here on xiye.
Okay, it's going to be the Conqueror start. I'm taking a look at this one. I mean, Conqueror stack is going to be nice for the longer engages, but as I say that, aftershock trade-offs from both Max and Missing.
Lands a hook again. Mystic might be in a bit of trouble here.
Wow.
Ignite's going to go down to level 1 big as the flash goes there. Why 4? Did he just flash on the spot? I don't know.
No, he didn't. He didn't. That is a
minion
classic, visual bug.
Okay.
He flashed forward. That's the only reason why the auto attack followed up.
That's true.
I've seen that too often now, and it gets annoying at times because it makes the players look bad. But no, that was just a good amount of pressure coming in from Y4. I think Y4 thought he had kill pressure to get down the Ezreal, but it wasn't the case.
So early Summoner's Burn here. Mystic loses his flash. There's an Ignite gone from Missing as well on the back end of that trade. We're going to see things slow down as Mystic's like, yep, I've broken the screen. We're back to reality.
Yeah, a lot of good pressure here. Now, the constant problems that all Yasuo face is when they push in their wave, it gets a little bit frozen, and you find yourself on the bad end of a gank. So Xiye's kind of set beishang up here. If he gets Raptors, finds himself mid, something to watch out here, but it's going to start off with Ben 4. 2v2
in the mid lane. The Fall Stewart not going to land. You talked about that interaction with the Wind Wall as the flash away from xiye. Ben 4 has expended. Not his own, so good gank here from V5.
He still has Biscuits and one more Corrupting Potion to chug, so he's still going to be fine to stay in lane, but a really nice timer for Ben 4 to get that gank off.
We'll apologize to everyone out there. Of course, we are in Xi'an, so the quality at the moment, we'll get into fixing that. As V5 get the push down in the bottom lane here once again. And we're to a point where the Jarvan's nearby looking for a gank underneath turret.
All right, let's see what we end up getting here. All right.
Okay.
Mo's putting in so much pressure up top side. Not only is he, keeping posts under tower, putting in a lot of pressure. Speaking of pressure here, Ben 4's got his eyes on him.
Shield's going to go out. Mystic is so low. That's an instant flash. Locked down with the auto attack underneath turret. Max is tanking it up. He will die here as Post comes in with a TP, a 1-for-1 trade. Favorable for, of course, the AD carry.
Yeah, I mean, Mystic loses out quite a bit off that one. So just the wave that's lost to him, you can see a slight CS and experience advantage there for Y4. So I'd say it's an overall advantage there for Victory 5.
Especially when the support's the one picking up the kill here for Missing. So early game starting off nicely here for V5 with about 200 pieces of gold for the lead. And you'll take that, especially after how game 1 started off. As this time around, xiye does not have a CS lead. This time around, the mid lane is fairly even.
And I just want to see what Ben 4, because he's already had now like 2 influential ganks. One up top side, one they dive on the bot side of the map. And so I want to be able to see if he can end up repeating that one through mid once Windy's able to find himself at 6. Now, I would still give the advantage to beishang and xiye in an extended skirmish, simply because of how easy it is to lock one member down in a 2v2 with the Sejuani passive in tow. So that's one thing I want to be able to keep track of. If Mole ends up also joining in with how well the lane's been going for himself.
And of course, getting spotted out by that ward on the bottom side would be the next course of action here for the jungler. For V5, at the moment, the Jarvan is towards the top side where Mole's finding himself in a trade again. We do apologize. There's a bit of an all-in here onto Post. Damage goes down. Great trading from Mole. And
it's
Post
nice,
behind 10 CS.
It's nice and artistic. Now we just have ourselves a very abstract game.
Yeah, so artistic. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's a Monet.
That's a Picasso play right there.
Yeah. I like the optimism, Raz. I'm with it. You gotta look, you're a glass half full kind of guy, aren't you?
Unless if my glass is also pixelated, then, you gotta deal with it.
You're a bit empty, right? Jungler's going to clash here, though. Level advantage here on Ben 4, so beishang still going to start up Raptors, but in danger now. Having said that, xiye does have ult and is flashless, but not igniteless.
All right, good pressure through mid. They can find themselves at top lane. I don't think they would ever go for a dive here knowing that Sejuani can come in for the defense. Unless they go immediately. This is going to be interesting to see.
beishang going to get spotted out. Ben 4 still doesn't have Cataclysm. Post without ult as well as Mole goes in. Perfect execution. Launched out they go. And Ignite for the kill. Ben 4 picks up his first.
Why was beishang clearing out the control ward? He just needed to be up top lane with the wave already diving straight in towards the tower. So I think it gets a lot easier, especially with a nice flash coming in from Pose. Now he loses this entire wave.
Yeah.
He already used teleport earlier on this game. it was definitely an outplayable situation that, you know, beishang came up for a reason. He cut up topside super quickly to come in for a defense and then just got stuck on the control work.
Yeah. 25 CS the lead for the Akali, who picks up the revolver after that back and is heading back towards the top lane. So already for WE in this second game, they've got serious concerns as we talked about the snowballing nature for V5 again.
Yeah, V5, the fact that they have both the Akali and the Yasuo, if they find themselves good early games, picks like these.
Great dredge line. Mystic going to take the unfavorable trade against Max and Y4.
So we find ourselves in a completely different situation as the last game. Victory 5, when they find leads, they start ramping up the pressure. I would say similar to FPX, obviously not to the same amount of effectiveness. But it makes it now difficult for WE to kind of take advantage of that, or to just slow the game down.
And it's just not stopping. Ben fall back to the bottom side. Mystic half health again. True Shot Barrage comes out in the middle of the Cataclysm. There's a flag, drag, and the Artism starts again. V5 pick up the first kill, but the Ignite goes down as well. Missing is going to get a trade once more. And WE can't get a breakdown here.
What the hell is happening? At least we know. All you guys need to know.
It's abstract.
Ezreal is dead.
Yes.
And lost another chunk of the wave. And so, I mean, nice, I suppose. Victory 5 is getting what they want. It's ultimately not working out for Y4 again. Ended up losing his life for the play. At least let us see this one in clear view. I think this one's slow enough to be able to catch. So get the Cataclysm to start. Nice flash coming in from Mystic, but the fact that they end up following through to secure it down. J4 just comes out of tower aggro. And the Aatrox is dead.
Yep.
So that happened.
Both side lanes are in a pickle here for WE as Mole picks up a solo kill with his ult back in tow again.
All right. I think we need the replay while we were in the replay. I think that's what we're asking for, you know?
It'll come.
It's the classic that... to be fair, we definitely needed the last replay.
Yeah.
I have my glasses on for a reason, and I feel like I just need to take it off. At this stage,
it'll be better.
It's not, you sure?
Oh.
Oh!
Why are we getting a replay?
No, but still, actually, he was able to dodge out the first Q1 and Q2. So, like, that was really clean coming in from Mole, so he never got knocked up by the Aatrox in the all-in.
And every time we look at the top lane, it's action, it's post-dying, it's post-falling behind. This game's going to constantly be a story about this top lane because the Akali now 30 CS ahead. Now with the components for the Hextech Gunblade at 9 minutes into the game. Cannot be stopped in that one-on-one. So what's beishang going to do about it?
I mean, that top lane dive is looking pretty juicy for Mole and Ben 4. He can come back up top lane for another defense on a dive. But at this stage, as you can already see by that ward sitting there, he's well-tracked, well-guarded. Most teams won't look for an all-out dive anymore. What they'll do is kind of send their mid laner up top side, maybe look for something. Just kind of push them off the turret itself. Don't even need the kills, just need the turret plating. As they're just trying to find the next one, Missing is caught out.
Line here from Missing. The Falls duet comes on in. The Vanguard's edge only hits one, but WE find the first as Cataclysm locks down 3 members. Missing comes in with the ultimate once again. WE taking them apart piece by piece, but at Domino's fall, Ben's ball will find himself as well. beishang flushing out of the way of Y4. The feathers fly and Post and beishang turn, but Y4 can't get the root. And WE took it nice and slowly.
That was just a trap by Team WE. I was concerned by what seemed like a pick off on Missing, but it turns into, you know, the full force just going straight on towards Windy. Windy didn't even have an opportunity to blow summoners before he ended up dying there, so suddenly you even had the instant teleport there from Mystic, where now you have the numbers game in favor of Team WE. So take a look at this, because then the headbutt pulverize combo into a stun, so Windy didn't even have a chance to live in that call, while Mystic is ready for the fight. Gets a full ultimate in tow as well. So really good, you know, play coming in from Team WE, and what you expected to be a Victory 5 win.
Are you ready to do it again? Perfect execution under Mystic, this time with double buffs going over to Mole. That's right back into the action here for V5. It's Post pops the ulti, returns to the play, and picks up a reset and a kill on top of Max.
It's happening again. Now, we may not know how Mystic died in the entire situation, but Team WE's comp is just so hard to run away from. It really is. Yeah. The Alistar and Sejuani starting to be online. You can see Pose starting to get into it. So all of that all the issues the Aatrox initially had, he's starting to get gold underneath them.
And they're moving to Rift Herald while V5 are hitting up that side lane in the bottom side, but teleport's going to be used now. Backtracking a little here, I know, Raz, but Mole in that last fight, one of the reasons was the teleport was not available for him.
Yep.
He burnt it to get to that mid lane, it seems, and finding the fight again is what he wants. Shuriken flip over the wall. Is it really the goal? There's a flag drag. Cataclysm again. Missing might die here without the Unbreakable Will. The ultimate comes through, and V5 in a pickle themselves. They're deep into the enemy jungle while the Aurelia joins the fight once more. It's Conquerors, remember, as WE gets dangerously low. Windy finds himself a big hurricane and gets himself a double. This is V5 at full charge.
This is a classic Victory 5 game. Didn't even matter that Mole didn't have ultimate prepared. Just knew that Windy could come in line with Ben 4. Get away from the turret.
Oh, he's still here. He follows the journey, but not all the way. Well, turret plating's still available, and V5 being this active means that they're taking it all.
I like the idea that Mystic Cat during that fight was able to pick off a kill while the rest of his team was getting slaughtered. So at least Ezreal is still rolling on. But now Victory 5 have a Yasuo that's definitely starting to ramp up. 2 kills to his name early on in this game.
Compared to the Aurelia, who's 1, 2, and 5. The story of xiye this game is not the same. As he tried to get in the back of this fire, it was missing, taking a chunk of damage from Mole.
See how confident that they are to pick up this fight. They just need the Cataclysm to come through from the J4. Yasuo's already in the area, just trying to find an instant access, so he gets in range, gets the ultimate up, and they block down beishang and xiye. You can see Mystic playing the fight in the back, knows he can get a kill on the other end. It seems like we're already looking towards another fight.
Can we get a break? Max hooks again onto beishang. There's a depth charge over to xiye. It's a 4 vs 4. Poach is taking a 1v1 on the backside, looking for the Akali. He flashes away, he dies to Windy while WE takes one on the back end. xiye gets his kill. True shot barrage onto Windy, and yes, it is chaos. It's the LPL. What's new?
22 kills, 14 minutes. This is hilarious. Let's add another kill to it, why don't we?
Oh, Ben 4's going to get charged in. Permafrost is there. Mystic jumps in once again. Mystic comes in with a great headbutt. Polarized, and Y4's forced to ult. This cannot get any better.
This is the first turret that has now gone down in the game. And we've had 23 kills to get the job done.
Definitely a V5 game, as you pointed out before. It feels so heavily so.
It's funny because even in their wins, it is messy. When they have leads, they'll continue to force fights. They'll lose some fights, but it's never a situation where Victory 5 can just like slowly overpower you, can just take 100% of the game. There's always something that goes wrong. And this really did feel like it. So Team WE grews right back up, able to get a lot of picks for themselves, get the mid lane outer turret.
Yeah.
So now, I don't know how Victory 5 can, at least I would say, more reliably play through mid, knowing that vision control is going to be in favor of Team WE around bot side.
For the first time in this game, WE are now ahead in gold. 1,500 is the lead, but we didn't get a chance to have a look at this 1v1 on the back end.
Able to support Pose on the initial pick he had here. Because take a look at the positioning of this fight. Mole has no chance to really come in and kind of help the team the moment Ezreal gets a focus on him. So this one was pretty easy. He has to get out of there from this point forward. I mean, Yasuo was already dead. It was basically a trait to begin with, being able to take down the Aatrox.
Not this again. Why do we even do replays? Post is not going to get caught out, but Mole dodged away from the ulti in the Shroud. He's still there in the back end, and the Nautilus ult goes out to Aurelia, and Mole now comes out of the Shroud to his demise.
All right. You know what? Screw this game. You know what other team in the LPL that I hate casting more?
What?
They don't currently exist, but it's Newbie.
Oh.
Because, actually, technically, I'll say Newbie and Vici for one player alone. Swift. Swift was this exact same mentality. He would play Sejuani, and off cooldown, he would force his team to fight around him. And so that would be the team playstyle.
See, I remember his Skarner games where he would just ult off cooldown. It was kind of the same mentality.
So the team had to play through him at all times because you knew that he was going to find a play. If he was behind, then you're definitely finding plays to get yourself a lead. If you're a lead, then we're snowballing the game to try and like end it as soon as possible. So that one is a call out because this very much feels like that game. The game that I had to just kind of let go and allow the play-by-play to have fun with it was LGD versus Newbie.
Oh no.
Because that was a constant battle.
Yeah. It kind of feels like The only answer is yes here for V5.
That's why when you have matchups where it's like, okay, it's SOFM versus Swift, you're like, we know exactly what's going to happen this time.
To the limits.
It's inevitable.
V5 have set themselves up in this incredibly action-packed early game with at least one item on carry, so you know why they want to fight. But for Mystic, he's got 2 items. This is an Ezreal with Trinity Force and a Lost Chapter at 17 minutes in the game with a fully stacked Muramana. Get over here.
As Y4 looking for action himself. He's just finding a hero and trying to find the pick. Let's see if they can get beishang.
Beishang is super tanky. Max going in might be the demise as xiye is going to take the ult once again to force through it. On top of the Akali where they jump on in the True Shot Rush. Goes the wrong direction, but Post picks up a reset and the kill lock. xiye drops down. V5, it begins again as the chase up is here. Post is looking for Y4, who doesn't have to ulti all the flash, and WE with the chase up. Their gap close doesn't end. This team goes in and again with Max in the dredge line. He's delaying the inevitable. Yakety sacks at full volume.
All right, they found themselves those 2 kills. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of Team WE. And this game is hilarious. The only difference in that fight, what gave Team WE the edge, is that Victory 5 didn't know where the Aatrox was. He comes in right out the blue and gets the pick off of Windy with the help of the team. This is the most hilarious game I've seen this split.
Wouldn't this be a way for WE to end their regular season as
hell
well? Yeah. And then they rely on teams, we're talking about like IG, LNG, but they go, but we had this game. This one you look back to where people like Mystic and this time Post are kind of hitting their marks. Well, I say that lightly. Let's look at this again.
So all eyes are on the initial pick, you'd think. Ben4 doesn't feel too good about it. The Nautilus ultimate comes through. Akali's like, well, I'm zoned off. But then you see Post come in from the Dragon Pit to being able to nail the kill on the Windy. And it's all hell breaks loose. All right, everyone for themselves. Max is the next pick.
He started here.
And you're like, all right, can I get out? You forget every champion that they have has a dash, essentially. And then he just ends up dying. But they have to run away from the turrets that they're trying to take to get this kill.
That's true. Mystic, yeah, zoom in on the Hero 80 carry. Now, we are going to keep track of Mystic's build this game because I called him Hero for a reason. This Ezreal is fed once again. This time, there's no xiye to be counter-looking at as Max will find himself a dredge line again, but is this the right call?
No,
beishang is tanky. Teleport's going to be coming in. Glacial Prism before the win wall as WE now has 5 mid.
Now, they don't want to fully commit to the fight on Ben4 because of Mole's positioning, but there is never a right answer if you're Victory 5 at this stage. If you try and pick off the Aftershock Sejuani, she's going to buy enough time for the rest of her team to come through. So if you are V5, you want to get a pick maybe on Pose and certainly on Mystic. But Mystic has been playing well so far.
Oh, WE going to take it again anyway. Ben4 just jumps on in. Try again. They say Raz's Mole gets to the back line on top of the fed Ezreal, but they're losing members. Mole flashes on in and Mystic escapes all the way over the wall. The jump in from Post and you can't find him. Mystic played that so darn well when he finally gets an ultimate, but it's too late. V5 are left with 2 members and Windy getting chased back with Y4 getting chased back. The chaos ensues, and WE stand atop of it.
Mystic is a boss. That was some boss moves right there, man. Usually when you have Akali on top, you start praying. You say your prayers right there, gets out a stopwatch, able to flash and blink right out of the play, and then kite right back so the Akali ends up dying for it. And even at the back, the tail end of that play, was able to snipe down Victory 5.
Yeah.
So great call, great fight, pick up a Baron, and Team WE is ready to roll.
I love the camaraderie. Post flashed for him. He took down the Akali for Mystic. He is the father of this team, and WE are feeling like a father over V5 right now, scolding them for their play with a 7K gold lead.
You better believe Mystic does it all, man. This guy is, he has responsibilities. Real life responsibilities.
He's got to get home in time, so he needs to finish this one up.
That's for damn sure. Let's take a look at this play, just from the AD carry's point of view here. Go stopwatch. He's just trying to bait R2 coming in from Akali.
Okay.
He thought he would get it off the flash, ends up getting it off the blink. And then he kites it back, weaves in everything, gets the final call off of his E. And then take a look at the next few plays here. Because what matters wasn't the ultimate, it was the last pick that he had. Once, boom!
Wow.
xiye set him low enough.
Quality performance from the now Luden's Echo Ezreal. There's no third item, like you see the Blade of the Ruin King, a transition towards the AP. It's flat out here from Mystic, who is on that tear once again, and now has Baron buff to really help WE send the message home.
It's kind of funny, isn't it? Because Team WE can play any style they want. They can play a slower play style, more methodical one, or if they're just relying on mechanics alone, both xiye and Mystic are, you know, one of the best in their craft. So you're not going to be able to outperform xiye if you're Windy and Mole. You're not going to be able to outperform Mystic because Mystic, and his best, is the best AD carry in the league.
Yeah.
So when you see him at his peak, then people will certainly say, well, he's playing better than Uzi in a certain instance. He's playing better than iBoy or Jackie Love. You got to give him respect, and we're trying to see this kind of level of performance in this series.
With Mole just trying to test towards them. As WE towards top side, this is their move. And you look at mid channeling down, you look at Mole trying to find a flank. WE still confident as ever.
All right, they do need somebody to hold down mid lane wave.
Okay, just find the Akali, that's right. Bop him up and down, and he's dead. So Mole shouldn't have been there.
They didn't need that mid lane at all. They just needed Mole. And now they can roll with this top lane wave. Yeah, this is a real tough game for Victory 5 to swallow.
I mean, it's hard to get in there. Beishang has himself a frozen heart, so 2 out of the 4 members alive really aren't going to be hitting hard or fast, for that matter, as turret's going to go down and the wave's crashing in with Baron.
This feels like the final rush here. Victory 5 have to draw the line in the sand somewhere, and Team WE just trying to bait a fight out.
Because you look at the bottom wave as well, and that is building up. Look at the size of it. After this wave crashes in, after they get top lane inhibitor, who knows where they could go. There's flash here from Max. Oh no! Mistakes were made here from V5. Post jumps in immediately. Cataclysm to lock them in, but to whose death is xiye? Gets a good Vanguard then. He starts away. Mystic still in the backline. Takes it in for himself as Mole. Gets the kill after coming back alive, but Post is online. He cleaves through the top laner. And Y4 with the heroic last stand. Can't find it. It's WE all the way.
Yeah, it was a sick way to end the fight. But at the end of the day, numbers overpower you, and Team WE looking to take this series. They don't have a minion, though, so they need to wait.
Well, death timers are there. Max is going to be coming up alive. No, they're going to back away. They're like, hey, why would you want this 39-kill game to end?
The only one that would be coming up, I guess Ben 4 and Max can hold them from taking the game, especially with how Y4 killed Mystic on the back half. If Mystic was alive, that would be the end of the game. So you said heroic for a reason. Y4 was able to hold the game for as long as possible.
It's the 3-item Xiye who gets another chance at that. 1 Nexus turret remaining after what was a big entrance of the base.
I want to show you, the top element. When the Aatrox was kind of taking a fight over here. So the moment they get on top of Ezreal was able to kind of deal with Windy on the back half. His ultimate was so close to being able to net the kill, goes into stopwatch, so close to being able to get a, extra style points. And then he gets styled on by Y4. Just take a look at this.
Oh,
yeah. Nice. That's the type of stuff you love to see because there are so many targets in front of him. Just being able to nail that perfectly is fairly difficult, and he's able to get it done. So Y4 saves his team, if not for just a little while longer.
But can he do it again? Can V5 hold on? 10k gold lead firmly in the hand of WE as Missing is walking into the brush. He'll spot out Ben 4 and Mole, just trying to get a pick and elongate this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's an Alistar. Alistar can make mistakes. In fact, that's why he's willing to be a little bit more brazen. That's what sucks here for Victory 5, because if it's a Twani or the Alistar walking forward, they're completely fine with taking a little bit of extra damage to get more vision. So Victory 5 definitely want another member.
It's just Missing in beishang though. That same rush. Ben 4 and Mole, this is the 3rd time they've been here. They're going to go further in.
Why? Wait a minute. He's trying to hunt for the pick.
They're looking for Post. They're very far out. WE are making the rotation. The ultimate's there. Goes into the wind wall as Post is still alive in the ultimate. The life steal's there too. They jump on a Mystic in the back line, but he survives once again. And with Mystic and xiye at the helm, Missing wants to find them that game-ending play.
Yeah, nice stopwatch. Holds the game on for a little while longer. But man, Team WE being able to take down Mole, going to be able to take down this mid lane inhibitor, you'd believe. They got to do something.
25 seconds. The Ben 4 over there was just backing away. He'll return, but Mole is not up for some time. As that's going to be ult once again here from Wind. He sends out the Whirlwind. Look at where Mystic is. The ult's going to go on him, but he sends out the True Shot Run to no avail as WE launch underneath the turret. They're taking a lot of damage, but Mystic is still alive and Mystic by his side. Y4 tries to do it again, but revenge served by Mystic at WE now. This time, they should have the game.
All right, 45 kills.
Look
46.
at Mole. He wants to find something, but the Ezreal chases after the Assassin. Nexus turret, the next focus, and WE can end the game, but they choose to hit Mole. They choose to pressure off V5. And in a final display, WE will hit the Nexus for a 2-0 to keep their summer playoff dream alive.
So the first question that we had is Team WE's playoff hope alive? The answer is a resounding yes. And it ended on a 46-kill game. That one was wild. 27 minutes too, so that one was fast and furious. Team WE was confident the moment they had such a large lead. Victory 5 started throwing haymakers, as they should. They needed to at that stage. And, you know, you had players like xiye and certainly Mystic being able to just outplay the situation they were given. So if last game was an MVP performance by xiye, this game for certain you'd give it to Mystic.
You absolutely would. It's good to see that the haymakers were thrown back, Raz, from WE. They threw them back so much harder in an early game that was almost V5 dominated. An early game that wasn't over to WE because they got shut down.
So here's the thing about this, because you know haymakers regard a lot of risk. If you miss it, there's so much wind-up time that there's always going to be a counterpunch that comes your way. I felt like Team WE here didn't make too many, especially off the mid-game errors around Rift Herald. I didn't see those windows open. I felt like every single time Victory 5 were trying to find those opportunities, the Alistar and the Sejuani just said no. So pretty clean slide that you see Team WE had in the gold graph. Victory 5, the moment you moved on from 20 minutes longer, so 20 to 27, they were trying to get anything, any bit of advantage so they can get one kill. But every time the hook went out from Nautilus, it was finding Mystic, and he was always blinking out at the right time.
Yeah. I like how the damage meets here for Y4 and Mystic, because Y4 was the one holding that game together towards the end as well. So a much better performance, but for V5, that'll be it. That'll end their season. No playoffs for them. That was already pre-decided, but WE, now they wait.
One of those moments that I wish we had foldy sheets, of course, but it's just one of those moments where you update them mentally. Boom, boom, boom. Team WE has a better chance, just so you guys know. Now they're looking on to the next series that they've been able to notch this win. Invictus Gaming, remember, there's still a possibility they end up not making the playoffs at all. That it's going to be down to them taking that win versus Rogue Warriors later today. I believe that's going to be the next set. Yes, it is. And then we look towards tomorrow, because if that happens, then you are looking towards LNG versus Suning. Suning's right now a really damn good team. In the playoffs, and that is going to be on LNG to make what seems like the impossible happen.
Yeah, against Suning, you're right. It's going to be a hard task, but for WE, at least they can rest assured somewhat. Because the performance here, as I said in Game 1, was playoff ready. Game 2 was messy, but hey, as you mentioned, it wasn't really the haymakers. It was more controlled punches out from WE to counteract.
Because, once again, you have all that going up against you. It certainly wasn't like Game 1 that had very easy laning phases there for xiye. The top side was something that they could deal with very easily, because now this game, compared to last one, Mole was pressuring that topside matchup, was getting solo kills on towards pose. They had to work together as a team to make it so the Akali wasn't relevant in team fights. And the way that they were able to do that was just like being able to protect xiye, Mystic in this case, as much as possible. And at times, it was all Mystic being able to make that outplay happen. He was super calm in what was really hectic team fights.
Everyone was on him. Everyone just jumped.
Yes, so great job from Mystic once again. Going into playoffs, if he does end up making it, that's the question that we now have again. Team WE can make that run from first round to semifinals, find themselves in another finals. Now, remember the last time they ended up winning was 2017 spring actually.
Spring.
So they had that going for themselves way back, but that was a Team WE with a completely different mindset. They had 957 and Condi at that time.
That's right.
So it's going to be new faces that are coming in that are currently finding that level of consistency.
I know the fans want to go back to 2017, the 2017 Worlds run for WE
That's
as
true.
well. That was a great semi-final matchup, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So return to form, sure, but for WE, 2018 and 2019 has been that long road that now could happen again. Remember in 2018 they only made spring. They don't want 2019 to be the same.
Yeah, I mean, we just need to see Team WE kind of at least get the newer members, you know, consistent. I feel like the biggest issue that they've had for the past 2 years is that they've been making too many changes within the lineup, even times, you know, bringing Mystic out for other players like Jiameng. And I think that keeping your 2 core players, great job. Keeping beishang and Post in consistently, even better job.
Because beishang is playing well. That was a great series from beishang. In the past couple of series, he's been performing to the spring level that we hyped him up originally.
Yeah, 100%. And so for me, very happy with what I'm seeing. Not from only the team that they have, the coaching staff with Dogge in the back, and then of course just the overall front office, because it all comes down of having faith in your team from the very beginning to the very end. And currently there's so much faith there. They're on their 5th series win now in a row.
Yeah, that's big.
So that's a big 5 right there, with it all starting with that win over Invictus Gaming. So now you just look towards the next series. The one where Invictus Gaming right now has really a lot of control here.
Yeah, against Rogue Warriors, who cannot make playoffs, of course.
Yep.
So.
And so it just comes down to, we already saw what Victory 5 were willing to throw at teams when they're out of playoffs. I want to see what Rogue Warriors has to throw at teams.
Oldahara, like, yeah.
They got a good, once again, the roster is strong. It's more so just about the coordination, and all it could just be coming down to is just having that one good day.
Yeah.
So, I'm a little nervous for IG. Maybe there's just that one catastrophic meltdown that happens.
You're not the only person that's
Everyone is pretty much nervous.
IG fans right now are probably not feeling too hot.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of hot, like...
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just saying that, like, usually based off of huge success for the team, you have the owner of IG, you know, eating a hot dog or something, wolfing something down that usually is the iconic image.
I think it was corn last time that we saw, yeah.
He hasn't been eating something in some time. The camera crew hasn't been catching him niddling
quiet.
down. Because, I mean, they're right now having that drive run. I want to be able to see this team. Here's this personal bias. I want to see the former LPL champions being able to defend that title in the playoffs. I want to see that former world champions being able to, once again, kind of have that least, if they make that meltdown happen, if they don't go to Worlds, I want to at least see that change in guard.
Yeah.
Because we have some great teams right now in BLG, FPX,
RNG.
Top Esports. I'm just saying those 3 new teams that not a lot of people would have expectations for. They're looking great right now. And to your point about RNG, new RNG, if we're just talking about Longsing / Lubsy RR in the top 10 map, that could make things happen.
I like you talking about IG, though, and reaching limits. I know, of course, this conversation will come in when BP and Clement join us for the next series.
The next change of guard. Speaking of changing guard. No, that's literally the changing guard between us to the old guys.
I was like, you got more for me.
Yeah. No, I got nothing. No, that was my point.
We're a really good duo, you know, we just complete each other's
sandwiches.
Yeah, I'm starving. Gonna be eating after this. That's the best part about changing guard. Get to sit down and watch IG versus Rogue Warriors. And I like the point you bring up where you want IG to hit those marks, not because, you know, it's not towards bias. I always see it as like, you see a team perform well, you know what they're capable of. You want them to hit those capabilities and those expectations. It's natural. It's what RNG fans, I know, would have felt with RNG not hitting Worlds in 2018.
You just want quality games.
Of course.
And if you have LNG in playoffs, while I'm, you know, excited for the team and what they've been able to accomplish really early on in the split, you don't have a lot of faith in the quality of the games of the first round of playoffs. And so just kind of, if you guys haven't seen it, you know, for what the mock playoff bracket would look like, maybe we get it up here on the screen, but really what it is all about is that, you know, there would be a possibility of LNG going up against EDG in the first round, and that sounds pretty good for EDG. The next round would be a pretty tough one in BLG. The next one would be even harder, of course, because you're in the semifinals, you're going to be going up against FPX. So it's a tough road for LNG in the first round. It would be even worse if you're going into the bottom side of the, you know, bracket, and you would be potentially going up against the Suning. So these are the situations that, you know, kind of have to worry about.
If WE took that spot as well, it'd be funny because they'd be in a very similar position to last time around against JDG going into the first round. Because no matter what, they're going into the first round here, WE, and you're just wanting them to make a better run in summer.
Yeah, of course.
Which looks, I feel like it looks harder coming into summer than it was in spring.
Yeah, I think so. Remember a lot of the teams that we had high expectations for, and BLG and Suning just didn't make playoffs in the spring split.
And then the teams within playoffs like RNG and BLG further to that point. Right?
Yeah, and so now that we see, you know, those teams being able to find greater strengths in summer, I just absolutely have no idea who's going to be taking those 3 world spots.
Yeah.
Because even past the LPL finals, and much like spring split, no one would have anticipated, you know, possibly FPX or TOP making that run. Now it ended up being Invictus Gaming and JDG, but summer split could be even crazier.
Yep.
And that's really what, you know, you get to love about new age LPL, with franchisemen involved, with all the new teams getting that big bucks. FPX and Top Esports are the 2 teams that made those solid acquisitions, and really it just comes down to, like, not only can they nail that first title championship, but the next question being, is there going to be longevity going into the next year as well? So that's the big question there.
Because they're sitting first and second right now. We are still waiting for an MVP, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, from
Okay.
WE's Arena. I don't know if Picasso has anything to do with it, but
Let's just throw in an artist.
we have Mystic, by the way, as our MVP. As I
He's a
said,
pretty
that we
good
got it in. Wow. Again, another outstanding WE member.
This was an artistic game. He was
Yes, it
painting a lot of wonderful images for us, this one. In the early game when we were just seeing pixels, and in the late game when we were just seeing the enemy team turn to dust. So this was a good run. Remember, headbutt pulverizer combo coming down. Yasuo just gets completely railed, and then here comes Senor Ezreal, nailing you with an ultimate, completely eviscerating Max on that one. Just great team fights. I know it's a team play game, so at the end of the day, these fights were mostly orchestrated by the Alistar and Sejuani. It was the later team fight that I would think about. I know we're going to be getting that one on your stream, where a lot of it came down to the Ezreal. Now this one was actually Victory 5 performing well, but eyes on Ezreal here that is able to get a sneaky pick towards his J4 in the back end. He was super low, ends up finding a nice,
Yeah. I love the arcane shift, the confidence to use. What is your escape when 3 members are still alive?
Yeah, because he knew Victory 5 were just trying to nail extra kills. So that was an awful fight for Team WE. Not too bad for the Ezreal. This is the fight that I was talking about. Akali straight on your head. What you gonna do now? Trying to bait out R2 from Mole, gets it right there off his blink, and so he was able to get over the wall. And then, of course, nice from Pose to be able to help out.
That one, yeah.
A good job.
And really, I was noticing in that fight 3 minutes before the stopwatch was bought. So great timing from Mystic, and he just nailed that last kill as well on Windy, which was beautiful. This one was great as well. It was the show about Mystic.
Look, right on top of Mystic, and he's able to play it out. I thought he was going to end this one in style. Ultimate to be able to get down Windy, of course, goes golden. I want to see how long this gets played out. It's a Mystic highlight reel that ends with him dying with Y4.
And then it turns to a Y4 highlight reel, yeah?
Nice MVP, by the way.
That was great.
That's my MVP now.
It was the last defense. I guess we just keep rolling through them because, of course, WE with a hand of Mystic is, yeah, we'll have a look again. We're just getting the highlights now.
I actually do not remember this fight. I have a bad memory to begin with. We had a lot of fights in this game, so excuse me of all the, like, what was it, 46 kills that happened in this game.
Yep.
I don't remember
49,
all those ones.
40, who knows? That was a lot.
I said 46.
That was a very bloody game. As we mentioned with V5, you know, sometimes it goes one way, sometimes it goes the V5 way.
Yeah, so I mean, V5, I think going into next year, the lesson that they can learn is just, you know, now they have the players having at least some experience underneath them. I think having one more experienced element in the team, I would say either in the top lane or the jungle will help out quite a bit. They have the mechanics, that's not a question.
Of course.
It's just really which fight do they take? Because a lot of times they would have themselves an early game gold lead, and then they would just throw it away based off what you saw in the game, because having calculated on which members have TP, like for instance, where is the Corki in like game 1 when they ended up dying because of a fight they ended up choosing. So there are so many elements in which they just need to have better pre-planning.
At least we look towards 2020 with the prospect of V5 as they are now, and we can hype them up a little bit coming into next year, but that'll be their send-off. WE have to wait and see how IG go against Rogue Warriors, how LNG go against Suning. Of course, Rogue Warriors IG will be coming up next. There will be a small, should I say, an elongated break.
Yep, about an hour long, and it's going to be Clement and, of course, I'm going to say Ben 4, but really it's Ashin. It's Mr. BP.
We're getting him on the desk.
Mr. BP4 coming up alongside him.
This sounds great. We're going to have a break and we'll be back tomorrow, Raz, if that's okay with you.
I'm not okay with that.
Okay, well, it's going to happen anyway. Thank you for joining us. Longer break. Stay tuned, though. We'll be coming back with Rogue Warriors and IG afterwards.